Hey, what's up, everybody? I am Rob Hau, Las Vegas Realtor. Today, I have a market update that's going to coach you through what's happening in the Las Vegas real estate market. It is very important what I'm going to tell you. Whether you're on the buyer or seller side, you must know what I have for you on the other side. Check it out. Hey, what's up, everybody? I have a bunch of little thoughts here that I think you need to know going into this year. Some important things I'm going to start off with. First of all, thank you for joining me. I hope you subscribe to my channel, because if you need coaching on what's happening in Las Vegas real estate or real estate in general, well, I am your coach. Just call me Coach Hau. I'm ready to help you get in the game and win, all right? So this market update, I think, is of great importance. I'm going to start out with inventory may be shooting up sharply in January, meaning more competition for sellers. So you sellers out there, what I'm seeing more come on the market. This may be the most competitive time for sellers for at least a while. I mean, talking several months. It could be very competitive for you to have to sell your home. And you need to know that, because if there aren't a lot of buyers out there that are available to buy your home, well, you need to compete for the ones that are there. I believe sellers are losing money every day in this market. It's not good if you're waiting and you have to sell. There is little light at the end of the tunnel as I look through the end of the year, as we go on, the signals that the Fed are giving us. It's just not getting brighter as we go along. And especially, I think this little zone right now for buyers and sellers is very important. You're talking January and February before the next rate movements by the Fed. I'll get into some more of that, but let me give you a solution if you're a seller. So the problem right now is that you're going to compete for very few buyers. There are less buyers out there. So your solution are price drops. And what am I seeing out there? I'm seeing price drops galore. So sellers that are finally coming to that point where they're realizing I need to drop my price, they're dropping them. Listen, we're coming out of December, so it was a naturally slow month, traditionally slow month anyway. So you knew you didn't have a lot of buyers you could count on. I probably would have gone into December, if I was a seller, with a aggressive attitude with my pricing and tried to get it done then. But if you're still going to do it in January, then you need to get on that ball right away. I believe you're competing for very few buyers out there, and those buyers are mostly deal shoppers right now. I think you need to offer seller-paid closing costs as well as a nice, attractive price. Most buyers are looking at paying higher interest rates, so they're trying to use closing costs paid by the seller to pay down that rate. Now, maybe you should take yourself and put yourself in the buyer's shoes and do some numbers on what it would take to buy your home right now. I can help you do that, or you can talk to a lender, or you could just use a calculator. It's a mortgage calculator you can download. Just look up mortgage calculator. Let me tell you the one I have. I have Carl's mortgage calculator. That's the one I've been using for years. You could go in there, punch some numbers in, and you find out what a buyer is paying for your home right now. And, you got to ask yourself, would you want to pay that? Okay, this is important. You may not want to hear this stuff, but you got to think about this in a manner if you have to get it done. Now, look, if you want to be a seller, if you have flexibility and you don't have to sell, and you could take your property off the market and not worry about it, you're just trying to get it done, see if you can get it done, fine. But if you have to get it done, I would be aggressive in how I would deal with selling your home. Look to offer those seller-paid closing costs, or expect to offer them. It could be up to 3% of your price, give or take. You could negotiate that. Also, look at what the builders are doing. The builders have been trying to unload inventory before the end of the year, and they have been more aggressive than I've seen them in many, many years, really ever. They had flexibility with their pricing. They knew that they had won big time in the last couple of years, had amazing price increases, so they had some equity, if you will, that they could chew into and offer good deals on those properties, whether it was better rates, because with their in-house lender, which you can also do with a lender if you'd like. If you're a seller, get a lender on board. A lot of times buyers don't want to use your lender though. They'll do it with builders, but less often will do it with a sale out that's a resale. Not a bad idea to offer it though. So take a look at what those builders are doing to get it done, and they have been getting it done. They've sold, I think, a lot of what they'd like to sell going into the new year. The building permits are way down. They're not looking to develop more land and build on it right away anytime soon. They're kind of pulling all that back, and this should be no surprise at all. So obviously builders are trying not to create more inventory that would be a problem. So across the nation, we had, it's like 58.1% increase in housing inventory. The funny thing about that is that sounds like a huge number, and it is, but it actually is less than I thought it would be by this time of year. As if you've watched my videos prior, you know that I had predicted that by now we might be at 6 months of inventory. We haven't made it there yet, but I do think we're gonna see a big jump in inventory going into when the numbers come out in January and into February, especially if we do not see the demand pick up at all. What we're hoping is that demand picks up and that buyers start coming out of the woodwork and wanting to get in on things. But here's the deal, folks. Very, very slow in December. Buyer demand way down. We will hope to see more activity this month in January. But buyers, if you need to buy, I suggest buying before February. That's the next rate movement. Right now, rates are volatile as can be. So if you can land yourself a good rate, down in the low sixes, you should grab a hold of that, try to get that done, get into a property, lock up your rate, and get a good deal on a property. I think right now, buyers, you may find some lower prices. You're going to be able to negotiate more right now. So that's something, if you can get it done before February, this is what I'd be thinking. If you need to buy, do it before February. If you wait, you're going to find that you may find lower prices, but you're going to pay more for your interest rate. And that rate, again, rates are going to continue to be volatile and on the high side. So you have to do the math. The math usually doesn't work out. You have to have quite chunky decreases in pricing to equal the rise in those rates. Now, if we end up at 7.5% or 8%, I think we're going to be around 8% at some point here. That's quite a lot of interest that you're paying. So you got to do the math on if you buy now and you can get a seller to buy down your rate and you can buy up to 2 points down, then that means even if you get a 6, let's just say you get a 6.5, you can buy it down to maybe a 4.5. Okay, that's a big deal. Now, if it goes all the way up to 8, now you're only buying it down to about the current rates now, 6%. Roughly, maybe a little bit less. So yeah, you might want to think about buying as soon as possible. And sellers, these are your buyers, the ones that are wanting to get in now and get in before these rates go up even more. The problem here is that as time goes on, rates are supposed to stay high once they do another rate movement in February and March. If the Fed, again, I have trust issues. If you watch my last video, I have trust issues. So I don't know what I can trust, but if the the Federal Reserve decides to do what they're going to do, which is what they've been saying they're going to do, which is raise in February and in March interest rates, then they're going to hold them from there. They're going to hold them high through 2023, and unless they throw a curveball, which would be a nice curveball, and they lower rates, then that's what you can expect. As buyers, that's what's ahead. But the solution is right now, sellers will help you buy down rates and negotiate prices. Something you should know from a buyer's perspective as well is if you're looking to get a jumbo loan, they're getting harder to find. Some lenders are just not even in the jumbo business right now. They're tougher to access. And some of them, again, are discontinuing those loan programs. Now, that said, if you have cash, you're up to bat, and I've been saying this for a little while now. I think that this is prime time coming up. It's just a matter of picking your spot. It could be, right now, it could be any time in 2023 that could be your best time to buy, which means you could wait all the way till the end of the year and see how desperate sellers get. I hope that we aren't seeing desperate sellers like crazy, but I would like to see a stabilizing market. But if the Fed continues to do and does what they say they're going to do, which I hope they don't, but hoping, what are we going to do? And again, I have trust issues. I don't know what I can trust with the Fed right now. Then you may be looking at, you might want to consider buying, at the end of the year or anytime really through 2023. Go out and find your deal, especially if you're buying primary residence. Just go out and make a deal happen, because a seller's going to take your cash in a hot second. In closing a bit here, I'm going to just let you know that Morgan Stanley and Redfin are predicting a correction, not a crash. I know I've been talking about what sounds like some pretty negative things, but I would agree with this. I believe that we have seen swift changes that can make this feel very drastic, but they are ultimately leading up to a correction and not a crash here. I would agree with that. Now, if the Fed overdoes what their tool is in the toolbox with this interest rate, if they overdo it, they could send things spiraling out of control, and that would be awful. We'll hope that they don't overdo it and that they get this right. Again, I have trust issues, so I don't know what to believe when it comes down to the Fed and what they're going to do. All we can do is prepare ourselves and make our best moves as we go forward. So that's it, folks. Just some quick, thoughts on where the market's at, what you can do if you're in a situation where you want to buy or you want to sell, and the different types of sellers and buyers out there, whether you're cash or you're using a loan, where you can get in. I hope I've helped you answer some questions about what you should do. And I will continue to do that as I go forward on my videos. So please subscribe to my channel. And remember, I'm Rob Hau. All I think about are houses and you. So when you're ready to buy or sell, now you know how. I'll be there when you need me. Have a great day, everybody.